Please remember some of the moves demonstrated are by advanced skaters. Before attempting any advanced moves, please seek professional advice from an instructor.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Inline Plus. Today we venture to Albury to visit the Albury Skating Centre to find out about what it takes to operate a skate rink in a regional city. We talked to Stewart, the owner of the rink, to find out some more. So what was your background in skating?
I just skated a lot when I was a kid.
Yes.
I grew up in Canada, so there was lots of ice skating.
Yeah.
And then when inline skates came out, I was in my 30s, and it seemed there was no ice skating around where I lived, so it was like a good substitute for ice skating.
So you made the progression from ice to inline a little bit?
Yeah, if you can call it a progression. It was just there was nothing. I liked it because it was the next thing. It was so similar to ice skating, and I always really enjoyed ice skating when I was a kid. So
what inspired you to open the rink when you started here?
There was no rinks around. I knew that when we moved here, and and I wanted to keep skating. I had small kids, and wanted to keep skating, and seemed like a good opportunity. And I didn't want to do another desk job, so I thought that was a good chance for me.
So you're just about the only timber rink in Australia here. How long did it take you to build up the skating floor?
It took us about 4 months. All up, there was some pauses between, but there was different phases of it. We had to drill a lot of holes in the floor and put a lot of brackets in for the beams, and we had to install the beams and get the height right. Then we had to put the subfloor, and then we had to put on the top deck, and then we had to put the boards on, and there was phase in the end. It had to be varnished. There was 3 coats of varnish for the final cover, and there were some gaps in but all up the work time was about 4 months. So
it took quite a bit of effort.
It was a lot of effort, a lot of screws, a lot of material.
Yeah. So do you know a little bit about the history of skating in Albury before you started, or there was previous rinks, wasn't there?
There was a previous rink. I've learned a lot more since I opened the rink. I knew there used to be a rink before I moved to Albury, and that closed in the early 2000s. But it wasn't. It was a thing. The building was originally a supermarket, I think. So It wasn't as big as this, and it was a concrete floor. I think before that they were in the showground. They were in a small shed in the showgrounds. Yeah. I think that was in the 50s or the 50s and the 60s. And I've heard before that they were really in the city, in the central city, in what was originally like a dance hall. Yeah. And I think so. That's 40s and 50s, so that's how far back it goes.
So it's got a fair history
in town, actually
even though that you're fairly new.
Yeah, it was prior to me, yeah. But then there was a long gap.
Yeah.
You know, what was there? 15-year gap between rinks. And it was a bit of a lull in skating, so there was when I opened, there was a lot of people who were kids when the last rink shut, and then had become parents, but then people that have started coming with their kids here, so that's actually been quite interesting.
So what are some of the services you offer at the rink?
We just do skating. We just do skating and a bit of food.
Sessions
just the general sessions. Yeah. And we're always with the music. We have at night time we have the lights on. Yeah. And we have a bit of food and a bit of equipment sales around that, but it's just the skating.
So that probably brings us to what are some of the most popular music tracks that you find at the rink?
Have. Definitely YMCA. I think it's the most popular.
I think that's popular at just about any rink, isn't it?
I think it must be but in a lot of Footloose. People like a lot of retro music, like a lot of 80s music, but then there's lots of, we allow our customers to come in and request music all the time, so we get quite a mix of new and old and new songs. So.
Yeah. So how many staff does it take to run your business at the moment?
Depends a bit on how busy we are, how many parties we have. Yeah. But when we're really busy, we have 4 staff on. Yeah. And when we're quiet, like at the moment, there's only me and one other guy. So. Yeah. You've got to be flexible with it.
I understand you teach new skaters.
That's correct.
How do you find doing that, and do you find they pick it up pretty easy?
I enjoy it. It's very enjoyable. It's usually pretty relaxing because you're usually only out there with one or two people, so it's nice and quiet. It's a bit different from a skating, often we give a bit of instruction to people when we're during a session, like if we're having a birthday party and we get some kids that are new, and you have to, give them a quick instruction. That's a bit, then you're under a bit more time pressure, and there's a lot more happening. So when you're actually doing a lesson, you've got a bit more time and a bit more time for each individual student. And it depends on the kids, how old they are, and some people pick it up quicker than other people. It's just one of those things.
And a lot of people are coming back to roller skating too, aren't they, in a big way?
Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to say. We've been, with COVID and with the business opening and then COVID, and it's really hard, like we don't have a normal time to compare it to. But it seems to be that a lot of people picked it up during the COVID period because you could do it outside and when things were open. Yeah. So it's encouraging people to come and visit the rink a little bit. Yeah, maybe. Well, business is good, so when business is good, you don't ask. I'm just happy business is good and we have lots of people coming. So, that's good. Yeah. I think a lot of it is. Well, there's a new skate park in Albury that's maybe helping us too. So, hard to say. So, what's it like to run the disco sessions in the evenings? Because they're a lot of fun for you, I'm sure. Yeah, they're fun. I don't know. I find all the sessions I don't have much of a preference. I like doing it, it just depends on, I don't really have a preference myself for the time. And these days we don't have these days I think we don't use a DJ, we just use a streaming service. So it's a bit different. I think maybe when there was, back in the day, when there was a DJ and a DJ box and people asking, that might have been a bit different. And we just let, we don't have a program, we just let people, come and skate to the music, and that's pretty much our program, So occasionally they come and ask you for tracks? All the time, yeah. All the time. Like we have our playlist, but then sometimes we have, you have some days and some customers when, it's like it's just one request after another one, so. Yeah. So how much interest was there in skating in the Albury area? There seems to be a fair bit of interest around town, doesn't there? Around the... Yeah, I think Albury's quite a big regional city, so... And when you look at the catchment area, people drive, an hour and a half to come here. We have people coming from Benalla and people coming down from like Brighton, the mountains, or out all directions, because we're the only rink for quite a while. When people who live in those regional towns don't seem to mind driving an hour and a half just to come skating, so it's been quite good, and we're always getting new customers. People saying, I didn't even know there was a rink in Albury. So there's always that sort of base to expand on. Yeah. But we have a lot of recurring business, a lot of people that come back for, regular customers. Some people you haven't seen for 6 months or 12 months, and there's always people turning up you haven't seen for a long time.
Coming up after the break, Michael talks to some customers of the rink.
So what sort of range of ages are there in the skaters? Well, there's really no limit sometimes, is there?
No, the youngest is we find 5 years old is sort of the lower limit. The kids under 5 just aren't ready for it. Yeah. But then, I don't know, we don't discriminate on age, so we don't ask people when they come in, if they're too old. Yeah. But I think I know for a fact we've had people in their 70s been skating. So.
Who have come back to it after a little while sometimes?
Yeah, and have come along for the family has been coming, and maybe their kids have asked them to, or their grandkids, so it's a bit of a mixture.
And finally, how many people prefer the quad skates over the inline skates, do you reckon? Or is it the other way around here sometimes?
I don't know, we don't really track it, but I think there's definitely more roller skaters coming. People are buying more of their own skates. Some of it's the marketing of the skates and things, so, but I still think it's probably the majority is still inline skates. Okay. But I don't know, that's one of those things, it's hard to really tell.
It's a bit hard to quantify sometimes.
I don't really pay attention, I don't really And we have a lot more inline skates in our rental stock.
Yeah.
But it's hard to really, we just don't track that, so I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Thanks for joining us anyway today and showing us around the rink. And,
Yeah, you're welcome.
We hope to join you again in the future sometime.
That'd be great.
No worries, thank you for your help.
Thank you, Michael.
Hi, we've got Olivia, Sophie and Emily with us, who are some of the skaters here in the Albury region that use the Albury skate rink. So how long have you been playing around on skates at the rink for?
I think we were one of the first people to book a party at the centre, so we're pretty excited when it opened.
How long have you been playing around on skates now?
Probably since Mum started coming, I guess. Is that right? Yeah.
So did you have any experience on skates as a kid, or did you take it up as an adult?
So in the 80s and 90s, roller skating was pretty popular, so there was a lot of going to the rink in when I was growing up. But rollerblades were terrifying, so I didn't take them up until this place opened, and I was convinced to try rollerblades, and they're pretty good.
So how do you find the quad rollerblade argument? Which do you find the easier?
I haven't tried going back to roller skates, so I think once you're comfortable with one, if you're just a hack skater like I am, then stick with one.
Better stick with one.
Yeah, stick with one.
Yeah. So which skates do you use? Do you use the blades as well?
Yeah, I use blades. Yeah.
What about you? Are you on the blades as well?
Yeah.
So a lot of the modern skaters these days are using them, aren't they?
I guess so. I don't follow them.
Yeah, so it looks like you're mostly a rollerblading family then.
I guess you could say that. Olivia comes with school. They get to do it as part of their sport.
So your school comes and does some stuff here at the rink, does it?
Yeah.
So you live in the area, obviously live in the Albury region.
We do, yes.
Have you tried doing any skating outside, or is it safer in the rink?
I think it's safer inside. No, I haven't tried outside.
Yeah, because there's probably quite a few paths outside you could try if when you get to that point, but keep up in the rink anyway. It's pretty much safer, I bet, I think.
I think so, although I agree there's plenty of paths, so lots of opportunity for anyone who does want to try going outside.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us anyway, and keep enjoying your skating.
Thank you, we will.
Hi, we're here with Carolyn, who's a skater in the local Albury area. What was your history with skating? You said you had a few goes in Goulburn as a kid, I think.
Yes, so it was probably about 30 years ago really. There was a skating rink in Goulburn, and we always enjoyed it. It was a good social activity, and yeah, I used to think I was a pretty good skater, but probably not so great, but yeah.
So you're still rolling around now, are you?
I don't mind to have a go occasionally, yeah. Probably not regularly, but yes.
Did you bring anyone with you tonight, or?
Yes, we did. We're here with a group, and I've got 2 children, and a whole bunch of our friends came too. So it's a pretty social thing for us to do.
Yeah. So, how did you find picking up skating again as an adult? Did you find that reasonably easy?
It was a little bit scary. Actually, now I use the rollerblades, whereas when I was a child, I used to use the roller skates.
And do you find the rollerblades a bit easier than the conventional skates now?
Yes, they're a little easier. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but
Yeah, I'm pretty lazy. I've just learnt the rollerblades. I haven't learnt the conventional skates, so I learned as an adult actually. So that's an interesting part of the story.
That's awesome.
Okay, thanks Carolyn for joining us, and I hope you're skating for many more years to come, and I hope your kids are still enjoying it as well.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
No worries, thank you.
Get active, get social, get on a roll. For more info, visit skateaustralia.org.au.
We talked to Jack about how he started roller skating. That's right after the break.
Hi, we're here with Jack, who's one of the artistic skaters in the Albury region. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah.
How long have you been doing artistic skating, do you think?
So on roller skates, probably about 5 months, 4 or 5 months. But I used to do ice skating, figure skating way back when, so I'm cheating a little bit.
So you're doing a bit of a conversion at the moment?
Yeah, well, there's not really much in the way of ice skating in Wodonga, so you take what you get.
Yeah, unfortunately there's been a bit of a shutdown there, but hopefully it'll come back reasonably soon. We just have to cross our fingers on that, I guess.
Yeah, look, I don't know how likely it is, but I will keep my fingers crossed. I've still got my figure skates, so just in case.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to hang on to them and see what happens there, but anyway. So how have you found it converting to roller skating from figure skating on the ice?
Look, it's very different because on an ice skate, it's just, you have your two edges but a very thin blade, whereas your edges on roller skates, there's a lot of mobility between, like a lot less mobility. So yeah, it's been a lot to get used to.
So there's a bit more friction on the roller skates, you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot harder to get momentum for jumps, and spinning is significantly harder.
So you mentioned you've got a group down in Wagga.
Yeah. So the coach is in Wagga, and then she does some lessons in Wodonga as well.
So you work in a stadium there or something? Or?
Yeah. We hire out a basketball court.
Yeah, because how do you find skating on the timber surface? It's a pretty fast surface by the looks of it.
Well, I think the main issue is friction. It's very slippery. So especially if you're going quickly around corners, your wheels start slipping out on you, and it can cause a bit of a panic sometimes.
And I suppose timber is the surface they use for the competitions, I think, isn't it, in roller skating?
I'm not 100% on that. I think I've seen it done on timber and on concrete. That said, I've never really skated on concrete, so timber's all I really know. So.
Yeah, I think most of the competitions are on timber, so I think you'll be pretty right.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. That'll make it easier for me.
Yeah, so you mentioned you're involved with Twin City Skate, or as a customer, or?
Yeah, so I'm currently taking lessons, and I'm looking to get accredited to do teaching as well. So hopefully I'll, in a few months' time, I'll be able to learn to skate as well.
So after 5 months, you're taking the plunge into becoming an instructor?
Yeah. Well, look, it's learn to skate, not artistic skate. So it's just the very basic stuff. I would not feel comfortable teaching other people the skating just yet.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at that, but anyway. So what are some of the activities that Twin City Skate does?
Yeah, so a lot of it is lessons. So they do lessons up in Wagga and down in Wodonga. So they do the learn to skate, they do artistic skating, and they do skate fit, which is like an exercise-based, skating laps and doing push-ups and all that fun stuff. Not really my cup of tea. I'm more of an artistic skater, but I do it every so often.
Yeah, we covered that in Adelaide, the skate fit program, so we know a little bit about that. So we covered that when we did our last series. So, but we might see if we can catch up with Wagga at some stage.
The coach's name is Beck, and she's amazing.
Okay, well we might get some details off you and see if we can catch up with her.
Yeah, sounds good.
And next week we will visit the artistic skating club Twin City Skate. With its main base in Wagga Wagga, New South Wales, it also conducts lessons in Wodonga, Victoria. Good night for now, and see you next week.
Coming up next week on Inline Plus, we take a look at artistic skating with Twin City Skate. So please join us then. Please remember, some of the moves demonstrated are by advanced skaters. Before attempting any advanced moves, please seek professional advice from an instructor.